You want stability. You want to stop throwing money away on rent. You want to build wealth without thinking about it. So everyone tells you the same thing. Just buy a house. It's an investment. Renting is for losers. But here's the problem. That advice assumes you know the math, and most people don't. The core concept isn't rent bad, buy good. It's total cost of ownership versus total cost of renting, and the difference is way bigger than your monthly payment. Let's actually figure this out. Throwing money away on rent is a phrase designed to make you feel bad while ignoring basic economics. Rent isn't an investment, sure, but neither is the first $200,000 of your mortgage payment. That's mostly interest, and property taxes, and insurance, and maintenance. Rent is a clean, predictable expense. You pay $2,200 for that apartment downtown, you get a place to live, you call the landlord when the AC dies. Done. Buying looks similar on paper. $2,400 mortgage payment for that $350,000 starter home, but that's just the entry fee. So what? The real cost is hidden. Cool. Now here's the problem. That $350,000 home needs a down payment. Let's say 20%, $70,000. That's not a payment. That's a chunk of your net worth that just stopped moving. While it's sitting in your house, it's not in an index fund earning 7 to 10% historically. It's not in a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5%. It's illiquid. If you lose your job or want to move, you can't access that 70 cal without selling the house, which takes months and costs more money. Renting that $2,200 apartment, your 70K could still be working for you. So what? Liquidity has value. Moving on. Your mortgage quote says $2,400. Cool. Now add property taxes, maybe $300 per month depending on where you live. Homeowner's insurance, another $100. PMI if you put down less than 20%, $150. Maintenance, experts say budget 1 to 3% of home value per year. For a $350 house, that's $350 to $875 per month averaged out. That $2,200 apartment, all those costs are baked in. Your rent might go up 3 to 5% a year. Your home ownership costs, they go up too. And you're the one fixing the water heater at 2 a.m. So what? The real monthly cost of that $350 home isn't $2,400. It's closer to $3,300. Okay, moving on. Here's a shortcut economists use, the 5% rule. It says the annual cost of owning a home is roughly 5% of its value. Why? Property taxes, 1%, maintenance, 1%, insurance, 0.5%, and the opportunity cost of your down payment and equity, 2.5 to 3%. For our $350,000 starter home, that's about $17,500 a year, or $1,458 a month in hidden costs on top of your mortgage principal. That $2,200 apartment doesn't have that line item. So what? If rent for a comparable place is less than 5% of the home's value per year, renting might be the smarter financial move. Cool. Now let's talk about the big promise, appreciation. Everyone says, but my house will go up in value. Sometimes it does. Over long periods, U.S. home prices have averaged about 3 to 4% annual appreciation, roughly inflation plus a little. But that's national average. Your street, your city, could be flat for a decade, could drop 20% in a recession. Remember 2008, that $350,000 home could be worth $280,000 3 years later while you're still paying the same mortgage. Meanwhile, the renter in the $2,200 apartment can just move when the lease is up. So what? Banking on appreciation is speculation, not a plan. Moving on. Let's say you buy that $350,000 home. 2 years later, you get a job offer in another state. Or your relationship status changes. Or you just realize you hate the neighborhood. Selling a house takes time and money. Realtor fees, 6% closing costs, possible repairs to make it sellable. That could easily cost $20,000 just to exit. Renting that $2,200 apartment, you give 30 days notice, maybe lose a deposit, and you're gone. So what? If there's any chance you'll move within 5 years, the transaction costs of buying will likely wipe out any financial benefit. Okay, moving on. Buying isn't always the wrong move. It wins when you plan to stay put for 7+ years to spread out those transaction costs. You're in a market where rent is high relative to home prices, check the price to rent ratio, and you're disciplined enough to invest the difference if renting were cheaper. For our $350,000 home example, if comparable rent is $2,800 plus, buying might pencil out. Also, if you value stability, painting walls, having a yard, not dealing with a landlord, that has personal value, even if the math is close. So what? Run the numbers for your actual city, not a meme. Cool. Now the flip side. Renting wins when your early career and might relocate. You live in a high-cost market where price-to-rent ratios are skewed, looking at you, coastal cities, or you'd rather invest your down payment than tie it up in drywall. Back to our example. If that $2,200 apartment is truly comparable to the $350,000 home, and you can invest the $70,000 down payment plus the monthly difference, you could come out ahead. Historically, the stock market has returned 7 to 10% annually after inflation. Home appreciation, 3 to 4%. So what? If you're a decent investor, renting plus investing can build more wealth. Moving on, let's get concrete. Scenario A, buy the $350,000 home. $70 down, $2,400 mortgage, $900 in other monthly costs equals $3,300 total. Scenario B, rent the comparable $2,200 apartment and invest the difference. You invest the $70,000 down payment plus $1,100 on the $300 through $2,200. At a conservative 7% annual return, that portfolio could grow to over $200,000 in 10 years. Meanwhile, the home might appreciate to $470,000, 3.5% annual growth, but you'd still have a mortgage balance and selling costs. The renter's portfolio is liquid, diversified, and doesn't require fixing a leaky roof. So what? The investment part of home ownership only wins under specific conditions. Okay, moving on. Stop guessing. Do this. 1. Find the price of a home you'd buy and the rent for a comparable place. 2. Calculate the 5% rule cost for the home. 3. Compare that to annual rent. 4. Ask, will I stay here 7+ years? 5. Ask, would I rather have my down payment invested or in drywall? For our $350,000 home versus $2,200 apartment example, 5% of $350,000 is $1,700 a year. Annual rent is $26,400. Wait, that means renting costs more? Not so fast. Remember, the mortgage principal builds equity, but also remember the $70,000 down payment could be earning returns. Plug your numbers into a rent versus buy calculator. NY Times has a good one. So what? The right answer depends on your numbers, not a slogan. Cool. Let's wrap this.